Welcome to the show, everybody. On this chilly willy of a Thursday. My goodness, how the weather changes. Woohoo! We were in Miami weather a couple days ago, and now we're in Nome, Alaska weather. It's pretty chilly out there. 50, what was it? 50 degrees at 5 this morning. Oh, excuse me, this morning when I got up. To me, that's a little bit chilly. I don't know about you guys out there, but we're getting October weather now. Look at this: partly cloudy day, sun shining, 50 maybe 60 degrees now. It warmed up to as we move to the Thanksgiving weekend, and we're not too far from seeing frost on the pumpkins. Believe me. But the good thing is that it's going to be dry for the next couple of weeks. We're going to have a nice weekend. It should be dry in the weekend. We can celebrate Thanksgiving, and the next 2 weeks are looking pretty good. A couple of days of rain, 60s, mid 60s, sunny. So yeah, we can't complain. We can't complain too much about this weather because it could be a lot worse, and I've seen it a lot worse. And speaking of lows, well, we had opening night in the NHL last night, and the Maple Leafs beat the Canadians, my Canadians, 5-2. They outworked us. Our line combos were terrible, and our goaltender did not stand up to Stolarz, the guy who's tending net for Toronto. We lost. And then something I don't care about, but a lot of people did. The Blue Jays won, too. They finished off the Yankees in New York. Big night for Toronto sports fans, I would say. Both their teams won. Congratulations all around. Well deserved. Well deserved on both ends. And yeah, you move on. And Habs play tonight, of course. We do absolutely on Wednesdays. So we'll talk about all these games. But from what I saw last night of that game, we just got to work. The Leafs were just better. So if you think I hate the Leafs, which I really do, I will give credit where credit is due. They played a good game, better than Montreal. Okay, so my name is Paul Lemire. Just in case you don't know, this is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. You can catch the show live at noon on Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays on 4680Q. Of course, Wednesdays is our Habsolutely Show, all Habs, all show. So here we are across from the Meteor Crater. And it's looking nice. It's got a little bit of greenery on it. It looks a bit cleaner, except for some junk in the old bucket. Better than it has looked all summer. Let me put it that way. Okay. Speaking of winners, how about my sponsors? They're all winners. Go Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. They sponsored the show. Thank you so much to them. We appreciate it. They keep the show coming to you so we can do this show every day. So I would say support our sponsors so they can keep supporting the show, and they also good corporate citizens. Now, we're looking at this weather. We're saying, oh, it's chilly out. Now, if that doesn't put a paddle to your butt to get your car down and get it checked out for the winter, I don't know anything that will. It's time to get your car in, get it checked out for the winter. Make sure all systems are go and running right. You don't want to break down in a cold November rain. That's the worst thing that happens. You don't want to do that. So you want to get your car in. The Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's. Check out your car. Check out your brakes. Make sure everything's safe. Check out your defroster, your heating system. Everything that makes winter driving tolerable. That's what you want to have happen, and you want your car to run perfect through it too, because cold weathers, all of a sudden one day your car don't start, your battery's dead. Well, the cold does that to batteries. Get your battery checked out. All your winter systems you want checked out. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership, wildbillsauto.ca. Check out their website, make an appointment, go see Ken, be proactive. And while you're there at the website, why not do this? Jump over to Your City, Your Voice on YouTube, or Paul Lemire on YouTube. You'll see my page. You'll see my podcast. You'll see every podcast I do there. Subscribe. You'll get notifications when it's popping up again. I put it on by 3 o'clock every afternoon, usually the live podcast from the show. And you get notifications. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, leave some comments. It's a big fun show. The more the merrier. And we read the comments online. I didn't see any big comments. I'll read any tomorrow that I have before the Thanksgiving weekend. And yeah, we go from there. We go from there. It's a big party. We have an election coming up in a year. We want everybody to be involved. Let's go. Come on. Let's get the city council we deserve. Not the city council, 27% of the tax-paying citizens of voters in Niagara Falls paid for. We don't want that. We want the ones that are going to do the best for everybody. And speaking of council, let's do some council notes. And I watched the city council meeting, and it was so frustrating, so much incompetence. I had to shut it off. I couldn't watch it anymore. I had enough. I couldn't watch it anymore and turned it off, and I haven't watched it all yet. I just can't do it. I can't do it. You just can't keep watching incompetence in action. It's just too much for one person to take. I don't know how anybody does it. I don't know how how the ones that know what they're doing sit in a meeting with these guys. It's just amazing. And I wrote a big thing out this long that I was going to hammer everybody. But then you know what? I thought, why bother? It's not even worth my time because nothing changes. So why bang your head against the wall for it? It's just crazy. Dave Wheeler and I sit in here and we go through it and everything else. The council listens to nothing. They have these surveys. They're in their own little world there of incompetence and not knowing what they're doing. Half of them don't read the agenda, you can tell. The other half do fly by the seat of their pants. Yeah, I just couldn't watch it. The only ones I won't put in the category of incompetence is Councillor Lori Lococo and Councillor Vince Cario. They know what they're doing. They do their homework. They know what's going on. I'm not sure whether Vince goes through every word of it, but his experience gets him through. He's smart enough to be able to do that. He's a businessman. He knows what he's doing. Lori does put in the time. I know that for a fact. But it's just, it's just frustrating that they're dealing with $200 million of our money and they can't do better. But I mean, what do you expect? When 27% of the population elect unqualified people, unprepared people to sit in a circle and make decisions for them, this is what you get. And somebody who goes over it like I do and knows the numbers and that is very frustrating to see people who are getting paid $35,000 a year not to do anything and then sit there on Tuesdays once every 3 weeks and make decisions for me. That's frustrating, believe me. So I do want to go over several things from the city council meeting. I didn't watch the whole meeting, so stuff I don't care about because I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the whole shite show. So I only can give you what I'm giving you here today. And I'll give you my look on it, my take on it, and we'll go from there. And I may look at it again on the weekend because I have Easter Monday to settle down. I won't be doing a show on Monday because if I would have done this show yesterday, it would have been a free for all. It would have been a free for all, but it's not going to be because I've calmed down. Now, what I did see was a few things. The one thing I noticed was a huge conflict of interest. Blabbermouth Councillor Newesteg was begging council for help with the homeless, laying all over her property on Main Street. Now, somebody said that it's sold. I'm not sure if it is or not. Either way, she has a vested interest in it at some point here. But there should be a conflict of interest because whatever they decide to do, whatever money they decide to put into homelessness, getting these guys out of the street, whatever the program is that's going to cost us money, helps her business or hurts her business if they do anything. So she really shouldn't have a say in it. She should have declared a conflict. She should have no vote in it. And for her to be getting up as a counselor begging for help for her business, oh yeah, she put other businesses in there too, but her business is part of that. That's a conflict. So she shouldn't have been up blabbing. She was blobbing about it. Our mayor is in cahoots, obviously, because he should have told her, "Hey, listen, you've got a slight conflict of here. You own the funeral home there, so you can't talk to it." That's what you call a conflict of interest. He did. He just let her go. So it was just a long-winded blob, just blabbermouth. I mean, just crazy. And this is typical. I'm yelling, "Sit down and shut up!" at the TV. My wife's Liz. She's laughing like crazy, right? She knows I get wound up during these, and I'm yelling at the TV. That's why I had to turn it off. I couldn't take it anymore. So that was one thing I noticed and I talked about and I was yelling about. There was a lot of other stuff too, but that's one of the ones. So I thought I'd mention that. Okay, the studio's clear. I can open the door and get some air in here. So, okay, so I wanted to talk about that. I thought that was a conflict and somebody should have said something. And the other thing, number two, was that I watched was the squirrel. The squirrel presenting the casino revenue. And Tiffany Clark, our CFO or whatever she is, I think she's the CFO, did a huge presentation on revenue spending concerning casino revenue with graphs and pies and charts and explanations and blah, 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 blah. Believe me, you think we have a problem with feeding the hungry? She put out enough bologna to make bologna sandwiches for the next 100 years for everybody. It's amazing how these presentations are made to daze and confuse most citizens. And they make it so complicated that you go, "Oh, well, he's got to be right." Hey. Believe me, it's baloney. They're serving bologna sandwiches. They want to confuse everybody so you don't know what the numbers are, putting all these past numbers in there and how much money we got and pie charts with where it went and this baloney. Believe me, it's a bunch of baloney. Bologna sandwiches being served. They must have had them left over from their top secret meeting they have in camera. Okay, so what they're going to do, and I'm going to go through all this and make it really, really simple for everybody because it is simple. They make it complicated so you can't follow along. But if you know the truth, you can follow along easy. So, some ground rules they use to deceive you. There's 5 rules to spending this money they have to go by. This is what they tell you. Oh, yeah, we got these rules. We got rules we have to go by. We can't just spend that money. Yes, you can. There's no rules. There's no laws. They could give the whole 20 million back to us if they wanted to. That's the first slice of bologna. There's rules because the only rules they have are the ones that council made up years ago. And they always put up the 5 rules. That's how we're going to spend the money. But the bottom line is they can spend it any way they want. There's no laws. There's no mandates from the province or anything about that money. It's our money. We can spend it how we see fit. And if they wanted to give it all back to us, you're damn right they could. All council has to do is put up their hands and vote to give it all back. And Tiffany Clark and the Penguin and the rest of the crew on staff would have nothing to say about it. It's our money. And council can spend it the way they see fit. So don't let them fool you with that. Don't let them fool you with these 5 demandments, these 5 rules. So once we get that out of the way, then we can move on to what's really going on. So like I said, on Your City, Your Voice, here today, I'm going to simplify this for everybody. I'm going to simplify it. So even the worst person with numbers, if you're bad with numbers, you're the worst of the worst with numbers, you're going to be able to understand this. It's very, very simple. Why city council can't understand this, or they don't want to understand this, or whatever, I don't know. I can't explain that. I can't explain that. Because if I was on city council, I would understand it and I would do the right thing. So I don't know what they're doing. They've been conned by the staff or whatever. So here we go. Let's do the math, right? This is Math 101, ABCs of math, the 1, 2, 3s. We get 20 million from the casino every year, except for COVID years, an anomaly. In 30 years, a year and a half, we didn't get any money because of this COVID, which was a bunch of baloney, and they put it on us to break everybody. But that's another story. That's another show. We get 20 million. Okay. And it might be 19.6. It might be 19.5. I'm going to use 20 million just to make it very simple. Of that $20 million, so write it down, 20 million, right? 3.6 million or 18% has to go to the police. We'll talk about that later. So you take 20 million minus 3.6 million, and then they told us they already put 5.4 million, somewhere around there, towards taxes already. So 3.6 million plus 5.4 million is 8 million, right? Sorry, 9 million. So we have to spend, we're going to spend 9 million, which leaves 11 million left over. 20 million minus 9 million is 11 million. Very simple. So what do we do with this 11 million? So if council's telling us they need to raise our taxes 5%, that means we have a shortfall in revenue to balance the budget of 3.5 million. Now we know that to get 3.5 million and bring our taxes down to zero, if we had that 3.5 million, they say we need to put in 3.5 million of the 11 million. And what does that leave us with? $7.5 million. So we put the 3.5 million in, our taxes don't go up, and we have 7.5 million to blow. Council has 7.5 million to spend. So pretty simple. 20 million minus the police budget, minus the 5.4 million they already put in, 11 million minus our raise, $3.5 million they need, 5%. And that brings us to $7.5 million, and we get no tax increase. That's how simple it is. And they can give you all these numbers, give you all the reasons and excuses, but that's how simple it is. A minus B equals C. So they have $7.5 million to blow on whatever they want. We're happy because we get a 0% increase. They're happy because they have $7.5 million to blow on whatever they want, to squirrel away or whatever they want to do. And everybody's paid. The police are happy. They get their extortion money and everything else. So there you go. That's how simple it is. I don't need pie charts. I just do simple math. 20 minus 5.4 minus 3.6, and then minus our deficit of 3.5 million we have to put in to give us a zero increase. And they could do this every year if they wanted and still have $7.5 million to spend. That whole hour presentation or whatever it was baloney. And if you don't understand that simple math, then think, of course, do they want 7.5 million? No, of course not. They'd rather have the 11 million left over. Why wouldn't they? I would too. But the reality is, if they were really using that casino money, which what it was made for in the first place, when we got the casino, right? When we got the casino, they were saying that, you know what? It's going to help Niagara Falls. We're going to help pay for roads. We're going to do this. We're going to do that, right? And at the end of the day, we never got that. The roads are no better. Nothing's any better. So that's the way it is. So that money has not been going to what we thought it was going to go to in the first place, right? And that's how simple it all is. So your charts and your graphs and the bologna sandwiches and everything else. Yeah. Now, I will say that we can't do that every year. We can't take the money and do that every year where where we are spending all the money, because we do have to worry about times when maybe we'll need money for other things, capital projects. But that's why they issue debentures. They're loans that we take out to pay back for big capital projects, right? That's the bottom line. And they have always turned to loans. And even though we have this money, they still turn to loans. Big projects like the hospital or anything else we need money for, they still turn to it. So don't let them fool you by saying, "Oh, if we don't do that, we're..." No, they still take out loans, even though, because we have a lot of big projects that go on. Now, that's how simple the math is. We get zero increase. They get $7.5 million to spend on other stuff. So let's take this a step further. If we had a good council, instead of people who don't understand how the money works, we would stand up and squash the police deal, because that's a joke. Think about it. Think about $3.6 million to the Niagara Regional Police. Two things. Number one, their budget's $213 million. And you know who pays the lion's share of that? We do. We do. Of course, because it's based on property value assessment in the city. You pay based on what your property is assessed at, your whole city. And we have big hotels and that worth a lot of money. So we pay the lion's share. I'm not sure if we pay more than St. Catharines, because we don't see a number. But I'm sure that if we don't pay more than St. Catharines, we're a close second to them. So we already pay for them to patrol Niagara Falls. And if I'm not wrong, the casino area is part of Niagara Falls. And when that changed, I have no idea. Because you know what? Before the casinos were there, the police patrolled that area. And we didn't get charged extra for it. We didn't get charged extra for it. So now we are. So somehow they weaseled their way into this. I don't know, through the province maybe or something. They wanted a take of the booty. They wanted a piece of the action. And they got it. And then the Penguin renegotiated the deal a few years ago. So they didn't charge us extra before. Now they are. And you know what? We already pay them heavily through our taxes, the regional taxes. $213 million is their budget. I'll bet you we pick up close to 50% of it. Probably 25 or 30% of it, with St. Catharines picking up 25 or 30, and then the rest. So that argument is invalid. They should be patrolling our city, because the casino area is part of our city, and they should be patrolling it anyway as part of their budget, but they don't. So what are they going to do if we pull that money? Not patrol the casino area? If they're going to hold that, then that's extortion. They're extorting us. Pay the money or else. Pay up or else. No different than any other criminal enterprise. So there's no way they should get that money, and our council's got to stand up and say, no, you're not getting it anymore. We made a decision. Your job is to patrol Niagara Falls on the whole. We pay our fair share. Patrol the areas you're supposed to patrol. And the casino area itself, right? The casino. I mean, they have OPP in there, RCMP in there. They got CIC. They got everybody in there because of proceeds of crime and everything else. Criminals wandering around trying to beat the casino. People on the kickball. They got lots of people there because their security can't handle any big time things that happen. Yeah, they're good for checking your ID and that. But if something big goes down, you got the OPP in there all the time, and the Niagara Regional Police are there if needed. So that's it. Give us back our money. So now you take that and add it to the 7.5. Now we're at 11 million again that we have to spend for the city. And the other thing, about it is they're supposed to be patrolling the area. Where were they? Where were they when the terrorists were on Murray Hill throwing smoke bombs down on people and blocking Murray Hill off? There were no cops there. There was nothing there. Where were the patrols that we're paying $3.6 million extra for? Give me a break. Give me a break. Yeah, see, now you know why I go crazy. Now you know why I get mad. Now you know why I get mad. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. The other one that's a total waste of money that we pull out of our share of the casino revenue is the Innovation Hub. Now, this is the place that's a make work program for Jim Diodati and his buddies. They all work there. And we give them $700,000 a year for what? They won't open their books. We can't see their books. We give them to them for what? They come and do this big presentation at City Hall. And the reason I'm mentioning this crap now is because our budget's coming up. And this is where we allocate this money. And somebody's got to stop it. We got to stop this. $700,000. They won't open the books to see what they're spending it on. So we don't even know. But yet the council rubber stamps this 700 grand. $700,000 is 1 point on your taxes. So last year, if they would have said no to the Innovation Hub, your taxes would have came in at 3.9% rather than 4.9. That's 700,000 bucks. Gabish? Okay. So this has got to go. They come in and do this big presentation. We're doing this. We got these. We started these businesses. We're doing this. We're so successful. Blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're so successful, you don't need our money. Take a hike. It's over. We're smarter now. We're supposed to be smarter now. Doge in effect. It's over for them. It's over. And our counselors got to stand up and kick them to the curb. That's all there is to it. And that's the way it is. If they can't stand on their own after how many years they've been in business. I mean, that Spark Innovation Hub was caught up in a big fraudulent thing. And the guys who ran it are still on Queen Street running a business. They grabbed like $3 million or something. And we're still supporting it. And it's all a big jumble through Holdco and Niagara Falls Holding Company. Believe me, it's a spider web, and they're all involved. So we give them, we take that money away now. As taxpayers, our city council has $11.8 million to spend. Take care of the police, get them out of there, stand up and fight, and take care of this Innovation Hub. $11.8 million. And we have a zero tax increase. Simple math. Make me mayor. Make me mayor for 3 months. I'll go in there and clean house. These guys, believe me. There's going to be a lot of buckets. Lori Lukoka talked about buckets, 5 buckets. There's going to be 5 buckets, and believe me, those buckets are going to be half empty when I finish with it. It's crazy what we do in this. And this is why I get mad and I turn it off, because I can't take it. I can't take the incompetence. Times have changed. This isn't 20 years ago or 30 years ago when the casino started. Times have changed. Times are tough for everybody. We've dealt with runaway inflation. We've dealt with a prime minister's 10 years and another year of this Carney guy, not even a year, 3 or 4 months, and he's broke everybody. Nobody has money. Kids can't afford houses. Do you think our city council or any band of politicians is sensitive to that? No, because they just keep raising taxes. 4%, 4 times, over the last 4 years, 25%. I don't even know what the region number is. It's huge. And we're looking at a 6% increase this year, they're telling us. And when we know from the numbers, we should be getting 0. Somebody should be helping us out. Food prices 30%, everything up 30%. The utilities, the water bill, the everything. But that doesn't count. Only 8. It's only $8 a month. Yeah, $8 a month for the 100 things is $800 a month. Yeah, I'm tired of these people. I'm tired. We're not better off from when the casino came here. Look around the city. Do I have to make this point for you? Look around. What do you see? Are your roads any better? You got weeds all over the place. You got a big mess, all blown out buildings. Seriously, folks. $250 million. $250 million we've received. Is this city any better? And I'm stopping because I'm starting to go again here. I'm starting. It's a huge problem. It starts at City Hall. And if you don't get on and vote and you don't take them to task, they're just going to keep on doing it. Yeah, it's your money, your city, your voice, your money, your choice. Choose wisely. Let's go to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And when I get upset like this, when I start going off the handle, you know what I do? I grab a hunk of pizza because it calms me down. It's like a good hit of Valium or something. It calms you down. Prozac. And I like my pizza, and it's got to be right, though. I like my pizza, but it's got to be right. It's got to be consistent. In other words, when you get one, it's good. When you get the second one, it's good. When you get the third one, it's good. And how do you do that? You use a proven formula for the sauce. You use a proven formula for the crust. Then you use quality cheeses, put on the pizza in the right ratios with the sauce. So the full flavor comes out of that pizza. That's what Pete's Pizza does. That's why they make a tremendous pizza. You add your fresh toppings on top of that, you got yourself a winner. You can't lose. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, now with their new location to serve you on Thoroldstone Road at Kaler at the Old Pie Guys. The northwest part of the city has access to some beautiful pizza. Good for you guys. You deserve it. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue, 905-374-2222, and you can call the new place. I don't have the number. I haven't looked it up yet, but I will. Don't worry. But you just go to their website, petespizzavictoria.ca. You are going to see all the information you need. You can order. They use Skip, Dine, all the delivery services. Fantastic corporate citizens, fantastic pizza. Chicken wings, panzerotti, steak and cheese poutine, regular poutine, steak and cheese sandwiches. They do it all, and now their new chicken parm sandwich. What can I tell you? Pick up the phone and dial today. Take it from me. You're going to be happy. Okay. Let's go. Let's stay with the city council for a minute. I can't talk about the casino money anymore. Another item that appears to be corrected after almost 2 years is sending the dispatch to St. Catharines. This came up almost 2 years ago at a February 2024 council meeting where 40 firefighters packed the council chamber and leaned heavily on city council to keep the dispatch in Niagara. Now, council folded like a cheap suit to that pressure and voted to keep it in Niagara. And of course, the Penguin, our CAO, Jason Burgess, who does know what he's talking about at times, pleaded with them to ship it out because of the money it's going to cost us to put in the next gen 911 system and hire new people because the city's growing. We need more people manning it. It was going to cost us a lot of money. We were going to save a ton. The council voted against it. He made an outstanding presentation, but they said no. So it comes back to city council now. And this time, council corrected the mistake. They are going to move it. After a year, almost 2 years, they corrected their mistake. Better late than never, I guess. But that delay just gave the firefighters a way to figure out a way to fight us about it. Because they can't argue the numbers. Jason Burgess presented the numbers clearly, and it's a lot of money, like $1.5 million. So they can't deny it anymore that it has to go. It's better. It's better. They do a better job at St. Catharines than we can do. And I think somebody brought it up, maybe Lori Lacoca, that we weren't even meeting our parameters, our demands with our system. So that's why we got to change. Now, what the firefighters do? This guy stood up, can't remember his name, and said that they were going to sue the city if they moved it. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Threatening to sue the city if they move dispatch. Well, you know what? Bring it on. I say bring it on. Let's go. We'll battle it out. We're moving it. You want to battle it out? Let's go to an arbitrator. Let's figure it out. Fine. Fine. I'm sick of these guys. Sick of them. I'm sick of their $30 million budget. I'm being rubber stamped every year without even giving them any kind of a hassle. I'm sick of all their raises, their sunshine list salaries for working 90 days a year, 9 days a month they work. Take off all the personal time and everything. They work about 90 days a year. Make sunshine list salaries, 120 grand a year. 1% of all calls are actually for fires, maybe less. And they're up there going to sue the city. Because for once, we're asking them to save the taxpayers' money. No way. No way. Battle this to the death. Now, you want to sue the city? I am ordering, as a taxpayer, my CAO, Jason Burgess, to launch a full investigation of the fire department. They want to launch a lawsuit against us. They want a war. Let's start a war. Let's go in and review their whole department and see if we actually need 130 firefighters. See exactly what we need for this city. See if we need them to be working 24-hour shifts, 90 days a year, and having kitchens and new kitchens that put in so they can stay there and eat and everything. Come on, let's review it. Come on, Jason. This is my demand as a taxpayer. I want you in there, and I want you figuring out exactly what we got going on down there. Yeah, they're going to sue the city. Hey, bring it on. Bring it on. Jason Burgess, we're demanding that you do that. I don't care what the mayor says. I don't care about anybody. I want our CAO to take charge and look at this department. Lori Lococo said there's 5 buckets. Look at this department. Then we only have 4 to look into. I'm telling you, one concession over all the years, they've been getting everything they want. $3 million trucks, no problem. Rubber stamp them. It's our fire department. They need it. New station, we need it. Rubber stamp it. Never gave them a hassle, ever. And now, the first time we want to do something as taxpayers and save some money, they're going to take us to court? Sue us? You know what? It'll never happen. You know that. I mean, we have counselors that don't even understand what's going on. Who's going to take who anywhere? I'll give you a good example. Counselor Strange. Jason Burgess says we're saving 1.5 million. Counselor Strange asks a question. How many points is that on the tax increase? How much money? Like, the guy's been there 20 years doing budgets, 20 budgets, maybe more. I don't know. And he don't know the effect on the tax base. He don't know how many points it's going to drop. He don't know how much money it takes to raise taxes by a point or drop it by a point. Are you kidding me? Here I go again. Here I go again. Here I go again. And the penguin stands there and says, that would be 2 points, Mike. Yeah, because it's $700,000 for every point. And you don't know that after doing the budget? What the hell are you doing with the budget if you can't understand that basic fact? You see they got to raise it 3.5%, and you have no clue what that means dollar-wise? How are you going to look for money and efficiencies to help the taxpayers if you don't know the basics? Ladies and gentlemen, we're dealing with $200 million here. And this is what we got watching our money for us. I don't know. How do they getting elected? I don't know. I have no idea. I can't explain it. I could go on. And on about this meeting because there was a lot of other crap that I forced me to turn it off. I couldn't take it anymore. But I'm not gonna. I've had it. I guess the old saying is that you cannot expect those that created the problem to be the ones that fix the problem. And you see it every meeting. And that's all I got to say. Is anybody for term limits? I am. I am. Let's move on. So it looks like they're going to expand GO train service to Niagara Falls on weekends. 8 trips a day starting on November 1st. Well, isn't that nice? This is good news, as day trippers will have more chances to come to Niagara and see the blown out buildings on Erie Avenue and Bridge Street. How nice. How nice. Now, the Cheeto Bandito, MPP Wayne Gates, thinks that 8 trips isn't enough. I agree with him. It's not. They need two-way service all day, every day, considering Niagara Falls is the number one tourist destination with 13 to 15 million tourists visiting the area every year. And Ministry of Tourism head Stan Cho wants to double that. I would love to know how many of them are riding the rails to get here right now. That would be interesting. I would love to know the number of people coming to Niagara Falls and taking the train. I would also love to know how much of a deficit GO Transit is running, bringing the trains to Niagara Falls 3 times a day right now. I'll bet you they're running a deficit. I'll bet the numbers are dismal, to be honest. If they break even, I'd be surprised. Gates says that on weekends, you cannot even drive down the QEW. The traffic is so heavy coming into the falls. Huh. Well, why aren't they using the train? Oh, because there's not enough of them running. Okay. I'll buy that. Why would anybody sit in traffic instead of taking the trains that are running here now? Well, if Wayne could find the answer to that, he'd have the holy grail of traveling. And I'd say that Niagara Falls and the region have a lot of work to do before taking the train becomes a viable option. First off, you need a reliable way to get from Bridge Street to the tourist areas that these people are looking for. They want to go to the tourist areas. They land over here. They want to go to the tourist areas, but it doesn't exist. Transit's irregular. I mean, you need a really good system to get people down to the falls areas. And that's where my beautiful monorail comes in. We need a beautiful big bill with a monorail in it. So if we had an overhead elevated monorail system that they could jump on and go right to Queen Street, right here, they could get off on Queen if they wanted. If they do my new terminal that I'm planning down on at the old Kimberly Clark area, if they build that, or they can go right to Bender Hill, Clifton Hill, and Murray Hill, right to the casino, right to the tourist areas. The monorail runs back and forth all day, elevated, so it doesn't block traffic. Now, hook that up with all-day train service. Now you got something you can work with and something people will use. That's what we need. We need some modern system to move people around, not these wrinkled buses that people are standing up in because they get overpacked and there's not enough of them and everything else. Very easy. Just have to do it. We have to get funding to do it from the provincial government that wants to increase tourism, and the federal government that is looking at Niagara Falls as a jewel for tourism. We have Tony Baldinelli sitting up there making a case for us. Now, all that consulting I just did is free. I'm not going to charge anybody for it. I'm telling you how to do it. I mean, the infrastructure has to be there to accommodate more people. Running trains 100 times a day, all day, every day, and bringing all these people here is no good if they get to Queen Street or Bridge and Erie there and they see a blown out downtown and a big mess and they have no way to get around. They have no way to get around. The infrastructure has to be there to support what we have and the added 13 million visitors a year. Now, this is 2025 going into 2026. We're way behind. We're way behind with the infrastructure. Now, Chito Bandito calls this the number one tourist destination. I mean, it's really, really time that if we want to be that we start acting like that. And we can't act like that without the infrastructure to support it. We want to be number one, we have to act like number one. If we want to be the best, we have to beat the best. And right now, we're not. So, good idea, Wayne. I agree, but you've gotta work on infrastructure to be able to support it. In some good news, let's talk about some good news in the city. The veteran crosswalks have been installed. They're painted on the road at the entrance to Fairview Cemetery, one of them. And there's a lot of our soldiers laid to rest in the cemetery. So that's awesome. And one in Chippewa, right at Main Street in downtown, I believe. We call it downtown Chippewa, just over the bridge, Main Street. And they were finished, completed by Remembrance Day, which is what we wanted. Remembrance Day is so important that we have that running. Those things installed, and they're really, really nice. If you get a chance, go and take a look at them. Good job. I know a lot of all the council pulled for this, and it was expensive. I don't know what the final price was. They talked $75,000. I mean, that's a little bit too much, but they're done. Lest we forget, you get a chance to see the crosswalks, go down there, and it's great that they were done. Thank you very much to the city council. A job well done. If they used really quality stuff, they'll last a long, long time, which is what we want. We want to remember those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom, and those that are still fighting for our freedoms around the world. We remember them on Remembrance Day. Now we can think about them every time we have to go to the cemetery or we go into Chippewa. Thank you so much. I wish there was 4 or 5 more in town, to be honest with you. Okay, let's get to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. You know, Hamel Machine's been around since 1948, serving industry. They serve the wine industry. They serve the agricultural product industry. They serve the food industry. How do they do that? Well, they make sure that these places have up-to-date equipment, have up-to-date pieces fabricated that they need, and they fix and repair any equipment they have that breaks down. You know, when a company breaks down, when they have a breakdown, they need it repaired because production time down costs money. When those machines aren't working, it's costing the company money. So what do? They go in there with their expert, skilled work staff. They go in there and they make the part either by fixing it or reverse engineering it with their 3D printer and water jet cutters. I mean, they have all the equipment they need and they have the talent on staff to be able to fix it. And not only that, while they're looking at it, they make sure that if they can make it better, make it more productive, they do. They've done it for the wine industry. Aluminum racks rather than steel ones, which are about 80% lighter. So the guys can put them up fast by themselves. They don't need 2 guys. They've done it for the agricultural product industry, harvesting hydroponics. They created a machine that does it 10 times, 20 times as fast, and they ship it all over the world. They did it for Rich's Products, the food industry. That's what they do. That's what they're good at. And they help us too. If you need something fabricated around the house, welded, powder coated, fabricated, designed, they'll do it for you. Your snowblower conks out, you spin a hub or whatever the heck, a key, they can fix that too. They do everything. They take care of us. They're a good corporate citizen. They're a good bunch of people, and they're experts at what they do. Hamel Machine Company since 1948, hamelmachine.ca. Check out their website. It'll blow you away. Support our sponsors. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens. Thank you so much. Okay, Chili Con Carnage. Mr. Rogers goes to Washington. He's going to Washington, elbows up, ready to do battle. What's he come back with? Squat. Stugats. That's what he comes back with. Nothing. You know what? Why does this maple moron, why doesn't he have the ability to get a deal done and get the job done? Why does he keep going to Washington? Why don't we send somebody who can make a deal? There's got to be somebody, Kevin O'Leary, anybody. This is the same guy who told all Canadians he's the only one that can deal with Trump. So I got to call that a lie at this point. He's the only one that can handle the big bad orange man. I call BS. Should get our financial person to make him a chart, to make him a presentation, a nice pie chart with filled with nonsense, baloney. Now, all that happened when he was down there. Trump encouraged a merger between the two countries. That's right. Trump laughs at anything he says and just say, you know what? We could solve all this if we just merge the two countries and you become the 51st state. Because he don't take him seriously. He's joking. And Carney, of course, he's intent on being a partner of the European Union. For some reason, he thinks he's part of Europe. Canada's part of Europe. I never knew that, but that's where he seems to be concentrating on. Now, of course, this doesn't make any sense to anybody who's sane. Like anybody sane knows this is stupid. But of course, hey, we live in Canada. I mean, the sooner we get rid of this guy, the better. PP, Pierre, Paul, Polyev. Okay, I got it. I just shortened it. PP. Let's get a non-confidence vote and get this guy out of there. Get rid of this goofball once and for all. Are you going to do it, PP? Please, come on, do something. I don't even think you're the right guy for the job, to be honest with you, but I sure think you're a hell of a lot better than this clown. Oh, and a real funny part, and I was laughing at this, is when Trump said men don't belong in women's sports and the transgender thing and wokeness is over, along with DEI. And Carnage is just sitting there making faces and doing this, throwing his thumb. Why? Because Carney's daughter is transgendering to be a man. That's right. Carney's daughter is transitioning, he's going to be a man. And Trump's hammering this whole thing. So that was pretty comical. I don't know if anybody else knew that or got it, but I was having a laugh on that one. And Trump did it on purpose. You just know it. Trump's the biggest ball buster ever. The biggest ball buster ever. That's just what he is. Okay, let's get over to Chicago and Portland, where there's big troubles over there. Trump stepping in to straighten out these two terrorist gang-controlled cities. Now I see the Latin Kings, a street gang with members across the USA and probably in Canada too. They put a bounty on the head of the commanders of the Border Patrol. Chief Commander of the Border Patrol, Gregory Bovino, is the target of the criminal gang, the Latin Kings, who said they would pay $2,000 for someone to find out where he is in that, and another $10,000 if they take him out. So he's on the hit list. The individual that placed the hit, Juan Espinoza Martinez, was arrested at his home in Burr Ridge, Illinois. Of course, where else? He's a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, and he will be dealt with accordingly, probably either thrown in jail or sent back to Mexico, deported to Mexico. He is an illegal, and he's a gang member that put the hit on this Bovino guy, Chief Bovino. And, when I look at what they're doing, the riots, fighting with ICE, and they're there, remember, they're there to clear out the criminal gangs, clean up the city. They're not there for anything else. And yet these politicians, Pritzker and whatever his name is there, the other guy, the mayor, Brandon or something like that, Anyway, they would rather see the gangs fighting wars than having ICE come in and clear them out. They'd rather see the gangs in the city running the city. The most absurd thing you ever heard of. Now, the left wing radicals aren't just uprising in these cities, they're uprising across the United States to the point where Trump is going to use the Insurrection Act of 1807 if he has to eliminate these terrorists from the sanctuary cities of the USA. They're trying to take over these cities. They're trying to take over ICE offices. And this is just leading to something bigger that's going to happen in the US. I don't know what it is. Something bigger, though, on a much bigger scale than individual skirmishes in these small cities. They want to take over the US. These left wing radicals, led by AOC, Bernie Sanders, and that ilk, paid and bought for by George Soros, they want to take over. This is war. This is a civil war going on right now. Now, Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, says that the police are standing down. They are being told, and there's documented proof of this, that if it's something to do with ICE, do not help them. Do not step in to help. Now, this is totally, totally illegal. As a matter of fact, she went to a police station with some of her crew. They stopped at a police station to use the bathrooms, and they wouldn't let them in. The Secretary of Homeland Security and people that work with her, they would not let them in the police station, the local police station, to use the bathrooms. That's how bad it is. They're planning something big. Left-wing district judges are ruling against ICE and Trump being in democratically controlled sanctuary cities. So the Insurrection Act is going to cure that fast, regardless of what these judges say. But something big is going down. I don't know what, but it's out there. And there's a bunch of clues why it is. Number one, servers have been found in New York City that have the ability to control infrastructure. They could shut down all transportation and other systems. They found it. They've uncovered it. They disabled it. But there's more out there, guaranteed. The communist candidate for mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani, has a 90% chance of being elected by these radicals. The governor of California, Gregory Newsom, says he is ready for a civil war, and the soft launch of a group called the Western Alliance is rallying against the Trump presidency. Number four, violence is escalating in major cities across America. They know the only way for Trump to stop them is by using the military. And they're using that to their advantage through the propaganda arm of Antifa, and that's the local media, the mainstream media. Local and state police forces do not have the resources to battle these terrorists, and they won't help ICE. So there's got to be an Insurrection Act, and these people going on the streets are going to cause even more trouble with these left-wing radicals. A civil war is brewing to conserve the Constitution of the United States, save America from the radical terrorists that are trying to take over. Trump has the power of the Constitution behind him. He can stop this radical takeover of the country and will use it. The left is starting to kill people. They tried with Trump. They killed Charlie Kirk, and now they're putting bounties on law enforcement officers and actually fighting them on the streets trying to kill them. The left is saying Trump is a dictator, and it's the end of a democracy in the U.S. Well, here's something that they don't know. They better wake up, because the U.S. is not a democracy. Never has been, never will be. It's a constitutional republic where the president of the United States is the commander-in-chief that controls the military to work to protect the republic from rogue states, terrorist organizations, and any other threat, domestic or foreign. They're about to get a lesson, these radicals, in civics. And it's going to be a tough lesson. Stay tuned. It's happening. Last thing is the U.S. government shutdown. It's being called the Schumer shutdown right now, as the spending bill will not be passed by the Democrats if health care for illegal aliens isn't included, and that's not going to happen. They are not going to spend billions, trillions in this spending bill for this kind of stuff. So government employees are being furloughed, they're being laid off, which plays right into Doge. That's right, Doge is perfect for this. They've been trying to get rid of this, find government efficiencies. Now the Democrats, with this Schumer shutdown, are doing it for them. The swamp's being drained. The Democrats are losing support at an alarming rate in the United States right now. Will the party even survive by the midterms next year? Well, this is the time that Trump trims the fat from government, and programs that the Dems have already wastefully supported are falling by the wayside. I mean, over 100,000 people have quit. Yeah, they're gone. They work for the government. This shutdown by the left-wing radicals is playing right into Trump's hands and will save taxpayers billions. It couldn't have worked out better for him. That's the way it is. So you keep your eye on this one. The Civil War could be brewing, and Trump's going to declare this Insurrection Act and take care of these clowns. Anyway, that's it for me today. Gary, you got an extra few minutes out of me here. I'm done. I got to go home. I got to do some stuff. Get the show on YouTube and that. And don't forget to tune into the show on YouTube if you're listening and you want to see the video version of it, or if your friend says, "Oh, I wanted to see that," well, tell them about the video. Send them over to YouTube. Look it up. Your City, Your Voice, or Paul Lemire. That channel. That's where it is on YouTube. Support our sponsors because they support the show. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Oh, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue and Hamel Machine Company. Support our sponsors. Tomorrow's finally Friday, and then we got the long weekend for the Thanksgiving. I'll be taking the Monday, so I won't be in. So I will see you tomorrow at noon. If you go watch City Council meeting, you'll see what I mean. Do the math. Check it out. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I'll give you your comments on air. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. God bless you all. Have a great day. Stay warm. It's a little bit chilly out there. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Promises made, promises kept. Your city, your voice. Your city, your money. Your city, your choice. Next election, we got a year to wait when we can cure a lot of ills in this city. If the taxpayers get out and vote and understand exactly what's going on. The budget's coming up, and I'm going to be right on that. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day.